Okay, so please take your comfortable seat to begin your practice. I was just saying that I had been out in my garden and it's chilly. My feet are cold and wet because the grass was wet and I'm barefoot out in the garden. So whatever the sensations are in your body right now, we greet them. Say, isn't it amazing we can sense the body like this? So please rest your hands in your lap. Let your eyes close. And lengthen up through your spine as also going down through your tailbone. You could imagine the instinct in you that is like the grass growing in the backyard. It wants to grow. It has an inner instinct for that. Even grass in the city sidewalk finds its way to come up through the cement. So imagine inside you, where is the instinct to grow? Where do you source that from? Now, as you grow up through your spine, getting taller, at the same time, relax your eyebrows and the sides of the neck, the back of the neck. Let the shoulders and shoulder blades relax. And just give a gentle hug of your shoulder blades into your upper back. Just this very gentle, like, I see you there. Good morning. And then allow the front of the abdomen to soften. And lengthen your tailbone down so you're sitting a little bit more in the back of your pelvis, not pitched forward into the front of your pelvis. And listen again inside for where the instinct to grow is already rooted in you. As I was saying, like the grass coming up through the sidewalk, you can also imagine it like if you were a potato. Just go with me for a moment. If you were a potato in a dark basement and there was one little crack of light up in the corner of the basement, your little potato self would start growing an eye, the eye of the potato, in the direction of that light. Because even in the potato, in the dark basement, if there's a beam of light, it's inclined to grow towards it. And in this way, we have this instinct in the human species. We are inclined to grow towards something luminous. We also have many diversions and distractions, so we have to stay clear on what is growing towards that luminous and what is a distraction or a diversion. Please bring your hands together at your heart. And this morning we're going to sing the oldest invocation that we used to do. And so I'll sing it in call and response with you. We're going to say, Om Namah Shivaya Gurave, the teacher within me, Om Namah Shivaya Gurave, Sat Chidananda Murtaye, is created from truth, wisdom, and bliss. Sat Chit Ananda, Nishprapanchaya Shantaya, and helps to bring peace, Shantai, and to eradicate unpeace. Niralambaya Tejase, and reminds us that there is a luminosity that exists without conditions. We'll sing and call and response just one time through. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave. Satchidananda Murtaye. Satchidananda Murtaye. Nishprapanchaya Shantaya. Nishprapanchaya Shantaya. Niralambaya tejase. Niralambaya tejase. Om Shanti Om. Shanti Shanti Om. Take a deep breath in. You may bow your head to your heart and acknowledge the already installed deep instinct that you are following by being here. The instinct to grow, to evolve, to reach towards that which is luminous, not to succumb to the diversions and the distractions. And then you may release your hands and please open your eyes. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. I'll teach it to you again, don't worry. Please come up to standing. I imagine like Alice and Sadie and some others, maybe Sasha, you guys remember this one from a long time back. Okay. Please come up to standing and take a stance on your mat. I have to now take off my jacket. I got warm enough coming inside. So take a stance on your mat that's as wide as the yoga mat, like this. Make your feet parallel, please. Bend your knees and come down to a bent knee, sort of ragdoll position. And let the back of the body cascade down from your hips, through your spine to the crown of your skull. And in that cascading, imagine the element of water from the center of your pelvis, the deep low belly, water element, the second chakra, flowing down. And keep the legs relatively stable, but then allow for your pose to have a little bit of movement, a little bit right, a little bit left, maybe a little bit back towards the heels, a little bit forward towards your toes. You can imagine the torso also like its own flexible, creative, exploratory process. You could hook the two elbows into your hands and let the torso rock a little bit side to side. Let's find out what's present if you bend one knee deeply and straighten the other leg, and if you change that up. Let it be something that you get to improvise on, and take that improvisation a few breath cycles more. So it's really not something you can get right, and you also can't get it wrong. Try to feel into how your body either learned, relearns, or is learning right now how to improvise, how to intuit. When you're ready to, you can start the process of finding your way back up towards a standing position, and let that also be somewhat improvised, like where you're going and how do you get there, and what do you get to discover along the way. And then please interlace your fingers, take the heels of your hands forward, raise both arms up. We have a little bit wider base because we've stepped the feet wider. So as you reach up, take the tailbone down and forward and allow your body to arc upwards as if you were the blade of grass in the backyard or the blade of grass trying to push up through the sidewalk. Lift your gaze, open your heart, take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, start a wide circle of the arms and then let that improvise. Where does your body most want to experience movement right now? And let that improvise to find your way back down towards your ragdoll position. And let it be something you don't quite know where you're going and you don't mind. Let the body guide you. So from within, there's a sense of even kind of a discovery, as if you were the kitten or the puppy finding out what it is to have arms and legs, and the feeling that your body wants to stretch and breathe. And then again, you can start the process of slowly finding your way back up from your ragdoll position. There's like a moment where you feel like a marionette, right? And you have to pull the head back up to center, and then interlace your fingers again. Change the interlace of the fingers. Take the heels of the hands forward. Rise up. Send your hips slightly forward, probably not past your toes, but you can bring the hips forward. Lift up through your heart. Open your gaze, open your throat. And press up with the inner instinct to grow and evolve. And this time as you exhale, sweep your arms wide, come out to a T shape like this, and then cross your right elbow over your left and weave the arms. This is called eagle pose. And I really like an eagle pose. We'll stay up for a few breath cycles. We're also going to go into a forward bend. So let's do the back bend part first. Inhale to lift your elbows, take a little standing back bend. And then exhale, pull your elbows down towards your sternum, level your head, reach up through the back of your neck to the crown of your skull. Let's do that again. Inhale for a little standing back bend. Take the elbows up and arc the heart open. And then exhale, pull your elbows down, bring your head upright, lengthen the back of your neck. One more time, inhale to go up. And exhale, draw that down. So the elbows come down towards your sternum, lengthen up through the back of your neck. Now with your feet wide, bend both knees and let this come down to a forward bend. You can keep the knees bent, and let's picture with the elbows wrapped like this, you are broadening the upper back and the shoulder blades. Allow the breath to come into the back and the sides of your waist, not just the front of the abdomen. Also encourage there to be a pace to your inhale where you can have the remaining upper part of your in-breath into your upper back. Now release your hands and wrists. Sweep your arms wide. And exhale, push down, rise up to standing. Reach your arms up overhead. And then exhale, sweep the arms wide, and let's wrap the left elbow over the right. Good. And then you can center your elbows, keeping your feet grounded. Inhale, raise your chest and heart and look slightly up. And then exhale, pull your elbows down, broaden your upper back, lengthen the back of your neck. Do that again. Inhale to go up. And exhale to draw down, elbows down, lengthen the back of your neck, broaden the back of your heart. One more time, inhale to go up. And exhale to draw that down. And then bend your knees, take your hips back, and come down. So you have this sort of eagle pose, ragdoll pose combination. Please keep your hips heavy so your heels are grounded. You're not pitched forward into your toes. And then let the upper back melt any unnecessary tension. So the shoulder blades melt away from each other. And perhaps on the exhale breath cycle, you can start to sense how the body sighs the tension, the unnecessary tension away. Please remember to use the in-breath wisely so it's the back of your body, the sides of your body, and the back of the heart too. And then you can release the hands, sweep your arms wide, like the wings of a great bird. And then press down, please rise up and sweep your arms up overhead. And exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. And pause to notice how things are feeling. Where is the inner instinct to grow and evolve? How do you have a connection to that right now? And please step forward on your yoga mat for Surya Namaskar. Join your palms together at your heart. Today we are going to be looking at neck and shoulder tension and how to release that. So palms together, please. So even when you come to this stance, take the elbows slightly forward. So there's space in here for the breath. The breath starting low but coming up and including this region. And take the very bottom of the shoulder blades in towards the back of your heart. Lift the base of your skull. You exhale thoughtfully, tone your deep low belly. Here we go. Inhale, sweep the hands down, turn them wide, rise up. And let's look for a little standing back bend right here. You can gaze up. And then exhale, energize your legs and bow forward to Uttanasana. Touch the floor, exhale completely. Inhale, glide your heart forward. Use the blocks or the floor if you prefer. Exhale for a deep bow towards your legs. Reminder from yesterday that the face is not rushing towards your shins. You can keep the base of the skull drawn back slightly. So you're really moving your heart towards your legs, not your nose, not your teeth, not your eyes. Let's do that again. Inhale, bring your heart forward, lengthen the crown of your skull forward. And when you exhale to bow towards your legs, move that from your heart and your upper back. Again, not from the chin, not from the eyes, not from the face. It's tempting, I know, but keep the base of the skull drawn back. And then place your hands and please step backwards to downward facing dog pose. One big step, second big step. And in your downward facing dog pose, gaze back between your toes as we did yesterday. And when you're gazing back like that, you can actually then close your eyes because there is a body memory in you that knows where you're going in this practice. As you close your eyes, put a little lift into the very base of your skull. So there's no sense that your face is rushing towards your toes. Were the eyes open, you could easily see the toes, so we don't have to get the face closer to the toes. Lift the base of the skull. So there's a sense of buoyancy there. And with that buoyancy, inhale forward to plank pose. And then keeping the base of the skull buoyant, exhale, come down to chaturanga, onto your stomach. Please point your toes. Put the hands out to the side this morning, wide like this on your fingertips. And inhale, roll up to cobra pose. And then exhale and roll down towards pranam. Keep the shoulders back and the elbows back. Inhale to roll up the back of your heart, the neck, the base of your skull, the crown of your skull. And exhale to roll down one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders stay back and then bow your head towards the floor. Inhale, roll up. And exhale to roll down. Again, the shoulders stay back so the heart comes forward. And then you bow your head one more time. Inhale, roll up. And exhale to roll down. Take your right arm out on the floor sideways, palm face down. Turn your head to your left, place your left hand under your left shoulder. Step your left leg back over your right leg. And stretch into the right upper shoulder, right upper chest. It should not feel like your right shoulder is digging into the floor here. If that's the case, you have to roll the right shoulder back away from the collarbone towards the shoulder blade. Press into your right palm to support that. And then as you exhale, roll back to center. Take the left arm out to the side, turn your head to your right. Place your right fingertips for support and step your right leg back behind your left leg. And as you step back, roll your left shoulder away from your collarbone towards the shoulder blade. And feel into the stretch of the left upper chest, left shoulder. Maybe you also feel your left tricep or even your forearm muscles. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, roll that face down again. Point your toes, place your hands beneath your shoulders. Inhale, let's go up to seal pose, please. You inhale to rise up. Maybe you straighten both arms. Nice. Okay, and then exhale, plank pose. And inhale, downward facing dog pose. Okay, so in downward dog pose now, please keep both hands and arms steady, very stable. We're going to use the right leg for improvisation. So as you inhale, raise your right leg high to one-legged dog pose. Stack your hips over your left thigh and allow the right leg to have a little improvisation, but without any sense that you're causing less stability in your arms or shoulders. This is for you to explore. Yours will not look like somebody else's. It can only look like your experience. Listen inside for where you need the stability and the assurance, and then this sort of improvisation or adventure. Listen for the instinct your body has. It knows it wants to grow and evolve. And then as you next exhale, please level your hips and bring your right foot forward between your hands. Press down through your left toes. Inhale, rise up. Here's the crescent lunge. Good morning. Good. Now while you're upright, because we've been practicing together for some time, you get to make some choices here about how your body wants to express itself in the upper hemisphere, in the heart, shoulders, and arms. Okay, so let's make the legs very stable and keep that sense of foundation. And then listen into your body. What exploration wants to be invited? What exploration wants to be given permission? What sensations are present, and how do those sensations guide you to move? If part of our purpose is to grow and evolve, we have to also be able to reduce the residue in the system that keeps causing us to take the same actions and have the same thoughts. So listen in to your body. You're doing so beautifully. Thank you. And the next time you exhale, allow this to become the descent. Bow over your right leg. Touch the floor with your fingers and then step backwards, please, to downward facing dog. Place your full palms on the floor. Stabilize your hands, your arms and shoulders. And then inhale, raise your left leg high. And as you go to stack your hips over your right thigh, listen for the improvisation that has the stability at your foundation. Allow yourself not just to seek that which you have seen photographs of in yoga, but to really listen into the sensations of your own body right now. It might surprise you where there is room for expression and where some subtle sensations occur. And then as you exhale, level your hips off and please bring your left foot forward between your hands. Press down through your right toes. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. And then we begin the process of listening. So if you keep the foundation stable, your brain will be less distracted. When you're exploring options with the arms, we do need to have a stable foundation in order to give ourselves permission for improvisation. So listen for where your body can explore, even if it feels unusual. Maybe you weren't someone who had a lot of permission for improvising, sensing, responding, listening. But that is a part of life. And right now, in these few moments, you have permission to explore. And then the next time that you find yourself coming towards what would be center, use that place of center to descend, to slowly come down. And as you touch the floor or the blocks, please float your right foot forward to meet your left foot. Inhale, glide your heart forward. And then exhale to bow deeply towards your legs. Root your heels and toes. Energize your inner arches and inner thighs. And then inhale, sweep the arms wide. Rise up. Gaze up. Upward hands pose. And then exhale your hands down to your heart. And pause to notice, what have you been awakening inside? And then I'm going to ask you to take a wide stance on your yoga mat in the spirit of a pose called Sarahjoy, which we're going to be exploring here. And we're going to explore it first with putting the elbow on the thigh. So that's the easiest version to kind of get, so we can improvise and look at what's happening with the left shoulder. So please turn both feet to your right. Bend your right knee. And bring your right forearm down to your right leg. Something like this. And try to have your shin be vertical here. And then the right arm can also be vertical. So you have your right heel, your right knee, your right elbow, your right shoulder. Great. Inhale your left arm past your left ear. So this is sort of like the familiar basic shape of the pose. I'm going to ask you to again keep the legs really stable for right now. And try this process here. When you inhale, raise your left arm and turn your gaze down towards the floor. Stretch into the left side of your neck. When you exhale, root your left heel, raise your arm, turn your head, reach long into the exhale. Inhale to open your left arm and to gaze down, open the left side of your neck. Follow your exhale like the potato in the basement. And the left arm is like the little eye of the potato reaching for the light. And then go ahead and proceed a few times more to sense, what would your body be asking for here, specifically in the neck and the shoulders. Allow this now to become your improvisation, your inquiry. How will you learn about the inner experience of your body through the lens of curiosity, permission, inquiry, sensitivity. And the next time that you're reaching your left arm somewhere near to your left ear, go ahead and pause there and then use your left low belly as you exhale, rise up to standing. Release your left arm. Let's go to the other side. I took my glasses off because they're in the way of my arm, the freedom of my arm. So bring your left elbow down to your left knee. Yep, good. Find your place. Sweep your right arm past your right ear. And listen in for the awakening of that instinct that there is like this rooting into your right heel. The tiny grass underneath the sidewalk has a root system. And the right arm can imagine itself to be that blade of grass saying, where is the light? To what am I reaching? And then you can sweep your right arm wide and back. Gaze down. And begin to explore. Really important that you keep the foundation stable. The right heel grounded, right toes grounded. Root your tailbone. Energize your left outer hip, left outer thigh, left outer heel, left pinky toe, left big toe. As you move through the process here, allow the improvisation, even if it's very subtle. What is your body asking you to know or to discover? I'm going to give yourself a bit of freedom to explore, to sense. And the next time that you are bringing your right arm somewhere near to the outstretched position of your right ear, then connect to your right low belly. And exhale, rise up to standing. And let's make the 2 feet parallel, please. And come down to Prasarita Padottanasana. For this Prasarita, let's put the hands between the feet so you have right foot, right hand, left foot. And energize your leg muscles just enough to sustain the pose. They don't need to be on emergency mode. And allow your breathing now to become something you have a little bit more leadership with. Might you be able to have the inhale breath match the length of your exhale breath and vice versa. And then please shift your hands to your hips and rise up to standing. Okay, so whatever the length was there, when inhale and exhale are kind of matching each other, just take note of that. We're going to bring 2 blocks onto the mat now for a little improvisation in Anjaneyasana, Parashvotanasana, and Trikonasana. So you can bring your blocks onto your yoga mat, please. Great. You're going to have some freedom to explore and to check things out, but I also want to give you a basic structure, like a little template for doing this. So let me put these aside, and I'm going to show you on my profile view. So if I go, I think it's this way, yep. So when you touch down to start in Anjaneyasana, you can put the 2 blocks here like this. And I do want you to press into your fingertips to sense that you're able to broaden the back of your body. A little bit like having a cat pose in here. And then that cat pose is already an inward process as we come into Parashvotanasana. And this, if you come from the cat pose, it's almost like coming from the parachute down into your Trikonasana. So the parachute there was on the back of the waist at the right kidney, and I'm going to go back to that parachute shape. So this is a very strong sort of cat pose side bend. Notice I pick up my back heel. And I still have this cat pose sensation. And I want to then bring this down to Anjaneyasana. And at some point, there may be this inner craving from the body to take that cat pose into Anjaneyasana, into a little back bend pose. And then we'll have some other improvisations that you're going to have permission, of course, to explore what those are for you. So let's do your right foot forward first because it's sort of more familiar way to go, right foot forward and left foot back. Also better for the ascending colon that we start with the right leg forward. Press into your fingertips and try to find even the hint of cat pose right here. By that I mean the cat pose spine. When you gaze down in this position, you might find that your left hip flexors light up in kind of an unusual way. So let's inhale and slowly straighten your back leg, please. Straighten your front leg and find your cat pose spine. Gaze deeply inward. And imagine you have this parachute on the back of your body, on the left kidney, the left side waist, and that you're going to kind of parachute down to arrive in triangle pose. So the left heel comes down for a landing. And then the left side waist can open. The parachute becomes more like a sail on a ship. And then return slowly to the parachute shape. So let the back of the body become more broad. Press into the strength of your right arm. Pivot your left heel up and come back into the cat pose spine. So you really have this sense, here's a big parachute on the back of the body. And then slowly as you exhale, bring your left knee down, keeping the idea of cat pose. And listen for what wants to come into your Anjaneyasana pose. And let it evolve slowly. You could sense it like in nature, the grass and the sidewalk, the gladiola finding its way. Listen for what your body wants to express by way of some improvisation, perhaps. And then allow that to come slowly back down to your starting position, both hands on the blocks. Whenever you get there, then please lift your hips and step backwards to a kind of downward dog pose to change sides. Bring your left foot forward between your two hands and start again on your fingertips. So you're in your internal cat pose spine. Let the back of the body really feel like you're very interested in the space back there, including the back of the heart. As you press firmly down like that, begin the process of straightening your back leg and then your front leg. Try to sense the parachute that you're making inside. No sense that you have to rush your hips into triangle pose. Rather, I'm going to ask you to press down into your left fingertips, keep the parachute very open, and allow your right heel to find the floor, the back waist to stay open, and then your right arm. And listen for where the parachute might sort of naturally transition into like a sail on a ship. A beautiful openness to the front of the heart. And then let that come down again, like the right arm starts to form the parachute. Lift the back waist, roll your right heel up. Bring your right fingertips down to your block. There's your cat pose spine. And using that parachute, come down for a thoughtful descent onto your right knee. And listen inside for where your Anjaneyasana would like to move. This pose, Anjaneya, means to make an offering from the heart. Listen in your own body, in your breath, shoulders, eyes, and heart. What might the offering be? And you find your way slowly, slowly, until the hands come back to both blocks. Press firmly there. And as you raise your right knee, then please step backwards to downward dog pose. And touch your knees down to the floor. Take the knees a little bit wider. Bring one block in for your forehead. And please make the block tall enough so that when your elbows touch the floor like this, let's do palms face up, you could sense that the back of the neck and the back of the heart is getting wider. If the block is too low to the floor, you'll have this computer head forward position. So the block is there to help you have this nice opening from the occipital ridge down the whole spine to your tailbone. Now allow the knees to be wide enough that you can sense the breath in the belly. And I'm going to ask you again to count the pace of your inhale to the pace of your exhale. And try to sense that with a kind of an important inner stewardship. You are stewarding the experience of the breath. Yeah, you're doing beautifully. So the inhale, gently matching the exhale length. Recognize the pauses at the top of your inhale and the bottom of your exhale. And do that for 3 breath cycles more, please. So what you're doing is really massaging the nervous system there with the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. That's an internal massage to the nervous system that you can provide. You're doing it right now. And then please walk your hands back towards your knees. Come up to kneeling and take 1 block to sit on in Zazen style like this. Take a seat. Rest your palms face down in your lap. Close your eyes. And let everything become very still. So the outside world, the inner world, the physical body, you don't need to even focus so much on the breath. It will take care of you and might be very subtle right now. Place your attention at the base of your skull. It's called the occipital ridge. And just give a gentle lift right there as you glide the base of your skull just very slightly back. And then we're going to step into a couple of twisting poses. And I use the word step there on purpose because I'd like you to step your right foot forward. Now earlier I was mirroring you, so let me put my other foot forward as my right foot. Like this. Yeah. Okay, so I'd like to do this. It's an unusual twist to start. We're going to come down towards the floor. It's helpful to raise the floor to meet the arm that's going to be down here. And then we'll do it as an upright twist. But we're going to start by going down so that you have more flexion and the back of the waist and the back of the lungs will get to breathe. So what I'd like you to do is come down like this and place your left forearm across the block this way. Try to keep your right hip on the block where you're sitting. You can place the right hand on your right knee for support and give a little pressure of your right hand into your right knee to kind of back up the parachute of the back body. And then begin twisting your upper body to your right. Some of you might like to hold your left hand on your right shin. Let's keep the right low belly and the right thigh kind of snugly against each other. And in the twist, allow the back of your body to receive the inhale. Press your left elbow kind of firmly down into the block and your right hand, yes, firmly into your right knee. Imagine that which you're kind of squeezing out or wringing out in the inner body, the residue that tends to impede our sense of growing, evolving. And then as you exhale, roll yourself up. If you find that both hips become firm on that block again, you probably had one hip lifting during the pose. So just take note of that. Then you can put this block to your right. We're going to need it there. And as you inhale, raise your left arm up. So this is really your very upright, little bit like a back bend right here in the heart. And then cross your left elbow over your right knee. And place your right hand on the block behind you. Press down here and twist to your right. I'm going to encourage you not to have this pose need to be completely upright, but let there be like a gentle bowing of the upper torso. So you can gaze back past your right hand and picture the back of the lungs having their own parachute, especially the upper back of the lungs. And breathe in one more time, taking the breath through the back body, low back lungs, mid back lungs, upper back lungs. And then rotate back around to center and place your right foot back into Vajrasana. So let me just clarify in case anybody is specific or even petty about anatomy. When I say low back lungs, I mean the lower back part of your lungs. I don't mean that there are lungs in your lower back. So if I say mid back lungs, I mean the middle back of your lungs, and then upper back lungs, the upper back part of your lungs. Now let's step the other foot forward. So it's going to be your left. Place the block here. Okay. So you're sitting on a little ledge. Try to keep both hips grounded on the block that you're on, and bring your right forearm down and your left hand to your left knee. You can gaze inward, press your left hand against your left knee to support a twist of your deep low belly to your left. As you press down to your right elbow, you can make that gently firm against the block. Whatever contact you have with your right arm on the block can be firmed up. You could hold your right hand on your left shin. Now the left hand is very firm, so you're going to press down with the left hand to encourage the deep inner belly to rotate to your left. And try to sense the internal movement. Even the organs are twisting right now. Very subtle, but that is a movement inside the body. You can picture like on the right side of the belly, the liver and the gallbladder get a little heavy. On the left side right now, you're twisting the spleen and the pancreas are following the left kidney. The left kidney gazes down towards the right kidney. And then rotate back to face towards the floor and roll yourself up. Notice if one hip returns to the block because it got lighter, just take notice. And let's put this block back here for the left hand. Raise up with your right arm, a little bit like a back bend now. And then exhale, cross your right arm over your left knee. Resist the urge to push your left knee too much to center. Try to keep it lined up with the toes of your left foot. Your fingertips on the block there. You can rotate and let's encourage the upper back to have that feeling like a little bit of a parachute, which means you're gazing back past your left hand, but keep a good lift at the base of the skull. Your chin is not what's gazing back past your hand, and your eyes do not need to be closer to your hand to gaze in that direction. So sense the breath moving into the back of your body, and on the pattern of the lungs, we have the lower back part of the lungs, the middle back part of the lungs, and the upper back part of the lungs. And then as you next exhale, go ahead and unwind from there, and let's place the left foot back down into Vajrasana. Great. And bring your hands down to your lap. Try to sense what's happening now in the back hemisphere of your body. And we are on our way to Shavasana, so we have time for meditation at the end of this practice. So this is my recommendation. Oh, I got my hair caught in my fingers. Oops. So my recommendation is that since we've been using the two blocks and we're really focusing here across the chest and the neck, let's finish with a supported shoulder stand and then into our Shavasana. So if you'll lie on your back with your two blocks close by, and a reminder that if you're having your menstrual cycle, supported shoulder stand is contraindicated, and instead you can do supported bridge pose. So we're going to take the two blocks, they'll get stacked under the back of the pelvis like this. So you lift up, stack the two blocks in there, and let's all come first to supported bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. And try to get a sense here of how do you root the shoulder on each side. And you want to press your shoulders down, the upper arms press down, elbows, if possible, your forearms and your palms. And then keeping the chest open so there's no sense of deflating the heart. You can pull the knees in like this, up towards the ceiling, and then the legs up to supported shoulder stand. Please maintain the strength of the shoulders, pressing down, and your shoulder blades lifting your heart up. It should feel like your heart is coming towards your chin, not just that your chin is going towards your heart. And please bend both knees and either take both feet to the floor together because you have the stability and the gentle control to do that, or put one foot down at a time. And then take these two blocks, please. And I will recommend this morning that since you have them, you come into a shavasana where you can put the soles of the feet together and the knees go out to touch the blocks like this. Rest your hands on your low belly if that's comfortable. Or one hand maybe on the solar plexus, one hand on the belly if that's comfortable. And then let your attention kind of go like from the front layer of the body, that is the foremost layer, your face, your heart, your skin. Let's sink down and down through the many layers of the body, down towards the earth. And notice where the back of your head is making contact with the floor. And let that get a little bit heavier and more deeply relaxed. And then notice where the back of your shoulder blades are making contact with the floor. And let each shoulder blade get heavier, more deeply at ease. As the shoulder blades get heavier, picture that inside the body is reassured. There is a place of grounding and stability. Allow the upper arm bones, each shoulder, the roundness of the shoulder, and the upper arm bones to release into the ground beneath you. Release the back of your rib cage, the ribs between the spine and the shoulder blades, but also the ribs lower than your shoulder blades. Along the back of your waist, any part of your back that's touching the ground, invite that to get heavier with relaxation. And then bring awareness to the back of your pelvis and your sacrum. And allow any physical contact there to also get more deeply grounded. And on the sides of your feet, making contact with the floor. Allow them also to become heavier with relaxation. Welcome that process to continue, like sand dropping through the hourglass, one grain of sand at a time. Allow the process to continue, one grain of sand at a time. The more deeply relax the back of your body, the more assurance you are providing. So the parts of you that need this internal stability and grounding. As you continue to rest and let the back of the body become heavy, let all five senses continue to remain inward. The inward nature of the senses is like inviting them to come back home, to stay home. Om Namah Shivaya. Sachidananda Murtay Nishpapanchayo. Shantaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Gurave Sachira Nanda Mordaya Niralam Vayo Shantaya Nishpapanchaya Tejase Om Shanti Shanti Om Shanti Om. You may welcome just a slightly deeper inhale and a gentle exhale. And quietly glide your knees back up to center. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And please roll to your side. And then use both hands to come up to sitting. And we'll come up to sit together for a couple of minutes. When you come to sit, allow yourself to be in the inner stillness and confidence that your practice generates. knowing that how we grow and evolve will require some improvisation. The sense in your own body. You can remain stable today and also allow for improvising in response to life. And join your hands together at your heart. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Shanti Om. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. So many blessings on your day. Good to be with you there.